Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Easy Way to Learn. I am Shalja Tripathi and today's topic of discussion is lymph. So let's get started, remain focused and follow the lecture. See, the concept of lymph you should understand from this diagram. See, when blood enters arterioles, it is oxygenated blood. It enters the arteriole, then diffusion will take place in capillaries, and then deoxygenated blood is received in the veins. So this all we discussed in the previous video, how the blood flows. See, these capillaries, which are one cell thin walls, very thin, they have pores in it. So these capillary walls have small pores, microscopic pores, which allow plasma and WBCs to squeeze out from the walls of capillaries. So the surrounding space is, or the body space is filled with this fluid. So this fluid which oozes out from the walls of blood capillaries, this is called tissue fluid. Tissue fluid, or it is also called intercellular fluid, intercellular or extracellular fluid. You will get different names in different books. So all the three names suggest that this fluid is the one which has squeezed out from the walls of capillary, and basically this fluid contains plasma and WBCs or the leukocytes, WBCs or leukocytes. This tissue fluid which surrounds the tissue fluid which fills the body space, actually it bathes the cells where blood cannot reach. So it provides oxygen and nutrients to the cell and takes back carbon dioxide and various metabolic waste from the cell. Since it is containing WBC, so it will do some cleaning action, kill the germs, destroy dead cells. Then this tissue fluid will be again reabsorbed in the blood capillary, but only some of the tissue fluid is reabsorbed by the blood capillaries. Most of the tissue fluid will be reabsorbed by another set of blood vessels called the lymph vessels. So when this tissue fluid enters lymph vessels, it is called lymph. So you must be very clear that tissue fluid and lymph, they are different, means where they are depending upon the location. If it is present in body spaces, we are saying it is tissue fluid. When this fluid enters the lymph vessels, now it is called lymph. So lymphatic system, let's now understand what is lymphatic system. So lymph is a fluid which enters lymph vessels, and now we have another set of network of vessels. Just like blood circulatory system, this will be lymphatic system. See, it will consist of lymph capillaries, which join to form lymph vessels, So at intervals, there are lymph nodes present. So these lymph nodes are basically producing WBCs, which are called lymphocytes, which again will have cleaning action. And fourth is lymph. Lymph is the fluid that is flowing in the lymph vessels. So it is somewhat like this. These are the lymph vessels. And these have nodes at in different intervals. And these are the lymph capillaries which join to form lymph vessels. So these are lymph capillaries. These are the nodes that are present. Lymph nodes. This is the direction of flow of lymph. So this is lymph vessel. So lymph enter into the lymph capillaries, which are smaller in size, and from the lymph capillaries, lymph passes into the lymph vessel, which have these nodes where WBCs are produced. So lymph node, the function of lymph node is to produce WBCs, which are called lymphocytes. You can suppose these as the checkpoints where the fluid is checked at intervals for any foreign substance that is present. So cleaning action is basically performed by these lymphocytes. Okay, this lymph vessel will collect all the fluid, and this lymph flows in only one direction, that is from body towards heart. So it is unidirectional flow from body towards heart. And we must understand that the flow of lymph in this network of vessels is not performed by any pumping action of the, just like heart is present in the blood circulation, there's no pumping organ to move the fluid. So only the muscular contractions and relaxation is helping, or the muscular activity is helping in the fluid to flow. And muscular activity means physical work that you are doing or physical exercise. So now comes the importance of physical exercise. If you are doing physical exercise, you are active, then your lymphatic system is also working efficiently, because the flow is depending upon the contraction and relaxation of the muscles, which is pushing the fluid upward. It has to move against the gravity without any pumping action. So only the muscular activity is helping. Okay, this blood vessel, lymph vessel will collect the lymph from all parts of the body, and it will finally drain into the large vein called subclavian vein. See, I'll make it simple to understand. See, lymph, all the lymph is collected and it is poured into the large vein. So lymph vessel will pour the lymph into a large vein, which is called subclavian vein. Subclavian vein is a vein which is present below the collarbone. This collarbone is called clavicle bone. So this vein is present just below the collarbone. So lymph is poured into the subclavian vein, and subclavian vein will pour this fluid into anterior vena cava. And you already know that anterior vena cava will pour the fluid into the right atrium. So this lymph has now become the part of blood circulation. Once it enters the vein, then again it enters the heart and it is mixed with blood. Now heart will pump it throughout the body. So the lymph becomes the part of the blood circulation. So this is the total concept of lymph. Now we must understand what is the function of lymph, different functions that are performed. So it performs various functions: nutritive, drainage, then cleaning action by lymphocytes, and one more important function, that is absorption of fats. So before writing the functions of lymph, let's write down little bit about whatever I have talked. See, as the blood flows in the capillaries, of the tissues, the plasma and the leukocytes, the plasma you already know is the fluid part of the blood. Plasma and the leukocytes that is WBCs leak out through their walls. Leak out this fluid is called tissue fluid. See, in your NCERT book, tissue fluid and lymph are not taken separately. The tissue fluid and lymph are same. So you must be clear in your understanding that tissue fluid is the fluid that is bathing the cell or present in the body spaces, and the part of tissue fluid that enters the lymph vessels will now be called lymph. So both are not same. So this fluid is called tissue fluid or intercellular or extracellular fluid. It bathes the cells and from it cells absorb oxygen and other required substances. And give out carbon dioxide and waste back to it. Now we understand lymph. The sum of the tissue fluid is reabsorbed into the blood vessels. But most of it enters another set of minute channels another set of minute channels called or named lymph vessels. Named lymph vessels where it is called lymph. So this is total definition of lymph. Some of the fluid that is reabsorbed by the blood, but most of it enter into another set of minute channels called the lymph vessel, where this fluid will be called lymph. See, lymph flow due to contraction of surrounding muscles. So some of the unique feature of this system, lymphatic system, you must also know. So make few important points. Lymph flows due to flow of blood is under, it is due to the pumping action of the heart, but here it is flowing due to muscular contraction. So lymph flows due to contraction of surrounding muscles. This is beneficial effect of physical exercise, that it is helping your lymph to flow. Another important point is lymph flow in one direction. That is, flow is unidirectional from body tissues to heart. Next important point is function of lymph nodes. Produce WBCs called lymphocytes. Another important point is the direction or the path it is taking. So all the lymph vessels will collect and pour it into the subclavian vein, then into the anterior vena cava, and then into the right atrium. So lymph which is coming from the lymph vessel has finally entered into the heart. Now it is mixed with the blood and it is the part of blood circulatory system. Okay. Now let's write down the functions. To take the screenshot. The one question is often asked on lymph, that define lymph and give two functions. So depending on the marks you can expand your answer. Functions. First put the heading nutritive. Its role is nutritive. See, what does this nutritive means? See, there are some large protein molecules which are produced by the cells. So these large protein molecules cannot enter into the bloodstream because the walls of capillaries are too small or the pores are very small. So it does not allow large protein molecules to enter into the bloodstream directly. So it will be carried by these lymph vessels. So these large proteins will enter lymph capillaries and the walls is comparatively pore is bigger as compared to blood capillary. So the large protein molecule will enter into the lymph vessels and then it will finally become the part of the blood. So you can write down It supplies nutrients, oxygen to those parts supplies nutrients and oxygen to those parts where blood cannot reach. Second point you can make drainage. See, it drains excess tissue fluid and metabolites and return large protein molecules to the blood from tissue spaces. Why? Because lymph capillaries have larger pores in their walls as compared to blood capillaries. So the large protein molecules which cannot enter through blood capillaries will enter through these vessels. Next important function is absorption. Absorption of fat. This we discussed in digestion. So this point will again come under this heading. See, absorb fat, which is also a big molecule, so emulsified fat, which is digested into glycerol and fatty acid, cannot, again these are big molecules, they cannot enter the blood capillaries, so they will enter into these lymph capillaries. So the lymph capillary which is present in the intestinal villi is called lacteal, that we discussed earlier. See, fat from large intestine, or you can write digested fat from large intestine digested fats from, not large intestine, sorry, present in small intestine. Digested fat from small intestine are absorbed through lacteals. So digested fat from a small intestine are absorbed through lacteals, and these are the lymph capillaries present in the villi. Lacteals are lymph capillaries present in the villi. So digested fat cannot go directly into the blood. So it is taken indirectly, that is through lacteals. So digested fat will become the part of lacteal, that is lymphatic system, and finally it will become the part of blood when it will be poured into the subclavian vein, then anterior vena cava, then into the right atrium. So then it will become the part of blood circulatory system. So you must understand, digested fat is not taken up directly into the blood, but it goes indirectly with the help of lymphatic system. Okay, the fourth point will be defense. Lymph nodes are producing WBCs, which are called lymphocytes. So write down defense. So it is also helping to remove germs or infection that has entered into body fluid. Lymph contains special WBCs called lymphocytes, which help in fighting infection, and diseases. Then it is also performing some cleaning action by removing dead cells from the tissue fluid or from the lymph. So it is also performing cleaning action. It removes waste products, like fragments of dead cells. Dead cells, etc. One of the lymphatic organ in our body or lymph node is tonsil, that is present in the neck region. So whenever there is some infection in the neck region, this tonsil, we can see inflammation in tonsil, because these tonsils are again lymph nodes and they are producing lymphocytes. So whenever there is some infection and the body is fighting the infection, these lymphocytes become active, and during the infection we can see inflammation, that is it becomes red, swelled up. So this way it helps to protect the body. Hope you understood the topic well. Please like, share and subscribe and enable the notification bell. Thank you so much. Please work hard for your board exams. Best of luck.